What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining me on D's Analysis. We're going to be looking at Palantir today, talking about some price action and going over some indicators. So Palantir has been killing it in 2024, as everybody knows. It's been one of the best plays out there. Kind of have this steep trend line. It's kind of hard to draw and chart on these stocks that have just been going up consistently. But this is kind of what we have. We kind of disregarded this move here. Tried getting as many touches as possible, keeping it clean. So we've been riding up this trend line. We got to bounce off of it a few times, and it also lines up with the horizontal level support that we have here on the weekly. It's a strong level. Honestly, this bounce looks very good. The fact that we got essentially 1, 2, 3, almost 4 bounces off of it, and now we have a very bullish sign on this candle here. We kind of have a green hammer here on this, which is a very bullish sign to the upside. So let's see if it can play out. I mean, you have 2 clean candles coming down. So you had a clean move here, clean move down. So let's see if we can repeat that. As we all know, Palantir can move very quickly. This drop here alone in a 2-week span was 36%. And then this one candle alone from bottom to top was 48%. So in 2 weeks, you dropped 36%. In 1 week, you gained 48%. Very volatile. You need a long-term mindset when you're dealing with something like this, because when you're having swings in your portfolio, you just need to dollar cost average, stay focused on the long-term plan. But overall, the setup looks pretty nice, bouncing off of this trend line and this horizontal level support. So you got some confluence there. On the SMAs, on the weekly, we're holding the 20-week, which is a strong level of support. It keeps the bull trend intact, as you can see, the blue and white line. We've been bouncing off of it multiple times, and it keeps the trend upward. So you always want to hold that. On the daily, we fell underneath the 50-day, but we just closed back above it. So that's a great sign, very bullish. We're on top of all the indicators, plus the horizontal level of support on the weekly and the long-term trend line. So you have a lot of confluence there underneath price. On top of that, we just bounced off the blue Bollinger Band, and we closed right underneath the red band, the top band. And on the weekly Bollinger Bands, we got that green hammer off of all of that, and you got the bounce off of the blue Bollinger Band on the weekly. So that's a strong level of support. All these indicators are pointing to the upside, along with the actual price action. On the MACD on the weekly, we turned slightly bearish, but this can always be short-lived. As you can see here, it happened here where it turned bearish, but nothing really turned out of it. There was no volume to the downside, really. It turned red for a split second and nothing happened. This could kind of be something that's similar, and the blue reclaims the orange again. But this is, as of now, this is the bearish indicator, the only bearish indicator that we've seen so far. On the daily, that's looking amazing, very bullish. So we had our red, our massive red with the downturn, and the blue's already turning upward. It already took over the orange. We got the cross, and now we have our first 2 green candles. Super bullish momentum, looking good. On the RSI, it looks amazing. On the daily, we're creating higher highs, higher lows. We reclaimed the yellow moving average. We're back from almost oversold territory to getting above the midline and pushing up higher, showing that price is actually strong. And on the weekly, we fell underneath overbought territory. We never got to the middle of the range, and now it looks like price might be trying to push back up and get back to the top of the range and eventually run into this moving average. And then the RSI will eventually have to make a decision whether it wants to continue down or start up another trend of a higher move. When we take a look here at the fib from the start of this move to the top here, we did get a little floor at 382 and continue on up. It's a very bullish sign. If you get a pullback to the 382 and you get a bounce there, that goes to show that there's very bullish sentiment and a lot of people are buying opposed to sellers. Because when you get the deeper pullbacks, it goes to show that there's more sellers in the mix. So when you only get a shallow pullback, it goes to show that the trend is very strong and it's very much intact. And currently, this most recent leg, we got a bounce off the golden zone, off the 0.5. We tapped it and we pushed back up. And now we were at the 382 and we got a retest off of that. Looks like we're trying to push back to 236 and eventually higher highs. So there's, out of all the indicators and price action that we've pulled today, there was only one thing showing bearish that could turn bullish very quickly. Everything else is showing bullish to the upside. So it doesn't mean to go out and risk it all or something like that, but from what these things are telling us, it's going to show that price has a higher chance of going up. Not financial advice, any of this at all, but I'm just telling you what I see on the charts and what the indicators are telling us. See you in the next one.